How beautiful, Germany. This could really be the village do Circuito La Salle. But no, we're actually in the Interlagos parking lot here at the WEC fan zone. Brazil is already a regular fixture on the calendar of the world's top endurance racing category. By the way, have you realized that São Paulo is the only city in the world that hosts the three main FIA categories? Formula 1, WEC, and Formula E, but I'll tell you now, as I've been saying for a few years, ever since the WEC returned to Brazil. For those who really love cars, it's an unbeatable value for money. 70 reais for half-price admission on Friday for you to experience all of these up close. So, if you didn't come to the 6 Hours of São Paulo in 2026, go ahead and put it on your calendar for 2027. And as a consolation prize, we're going to show you a bit of what goes on behind the scenes and what makes this event so cool. Let's go! Starting with the Ford Racing Fan Zone, this is one of the things that makes the WEC so special. There are 14 manufacturers involved and they bring a lot of things. We get to see up close how, look, this is something new, right? It's Dark Horse, but you can see this lip here on the front. The fender here also has an extra vent, is the handling package of the manual Dark Horse. Will Ford offer it in Brazil? I would imagine so. Back here you can notice more easily, right? The rear area. There are people inside, let's not disturb them. Let's keep moving around here. Look, I'll show you as well. We have the T1, which Bia Figueiredo is using in the rally. This year, Ford is very strong in the rally as well, and bringing a bit of that Le Mans spirit, right? Ford Store Shop Racing Suit Exhibition. There's even a big screen panel here where you can follow the 125 years of Ford racing history. There's even a virtual reality simulator. Anyway, the brands really come to interact closely with the fans at the WEC. In Formula 1, I'd say that's not really possible. And as I said, it's because of the cost. Much more attractive, right? Let's stretch our legs a bit then. Our ride has arrived. Dark Horse with Ben Tuck, who will be qualifying the GT3 in just a bit. Hi Ben, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Excited?
Absolutely.
Are you ready?
Let's go.
Whoa!
It's really cool, right? We only push the Dark Horse at Velocita, which is a tighter track. Whoa, brake! I'm stretching the Dark Horse's legs here in a way I never had the chance before. Let's see what it will hit there. 215 on the straight here.
Whoa!
Look, I don't remember feeling this much power in a street car here. The grip is impressive. I'm really going to put my foot down now. It's a pleasure to meet you. Thank you. Thank you. The guy is good. I'll tell you. Impressive, yeah, especially the grip, right? A street car on the track. We don't expect to be squeezed so much, right? Against the sides there, in the corners, both in cornering and braking. The car has a lot of grip. Power, we know, right? If you drive it on the street, you feel it. But the grip is what impressed me the most. Amazing, really amazing. And man, can the guy drive? He drives and narrates in real time. With ECT, there's always a direct link to the product. Even hypercars have engines closely related to production engines. Ford's hypercar, for example, will have the 5.8, or rather, the 5.0 V8 Coyote. You really get a sense of each manufacturer's history here, right? Here in front of Ford, we have the classic Rangers. Here, for example, is a real rarity, something you don't see every day in Brazil, Toyota MR2. Toyota also has a really strong presence here. It's pretty crowded, right? But you can see the GR Corolla and the GR Aries over there. So let's speed up this walk, editor. We've already got the cars lined up for the parade lap. That really shows how many manufacturers are involved and how important they are, right? So here we have the Ferrari 296. There's the Genesis G90, which is another one you don't see in Brazil. Do you think Genesis will come to Brazil? Cadillac, which just arrived in Brazil. They almost won Le Mans this year. BMW M2 Cup car. Peugeot 2008, right? Peugeot is in the hypercars. More GR Aries. I have to admit to you guys that this year, I kind of missed seeing more activation from other brands, you know? Porsche is in IATA, but not in WEC. BMW and Peugeot decided not to set up fan areas here, but there are areas over there, in the VIP boxes, hosting a lot of guests. Anyway, it's still a very important event for the car manufacturers here in Brazil. And here, a bit about the future of WEC, right? The H24 prototype, the hydrogen mission. Yes, starting 2028, we will also have hydrogen-powered cars. I've heard in some places that WEC is going to become a hydrogen category. Hold on, it's not like that. The regulations for hypercars will allow the possibility of running on hydrogen. It won't be mandatory, but we will see hydrogen cars. At Le Mans, Alpine already had theirs on display. Alpine will likely be among the first to adopt this idea. This model was developed with Toyota. So we're going to see hydrogen and traditional hybrids going head-to-head starting in 2028. And here, look, the bridge that collapsed. It's the biggest fan zone in Brazil. This area in Formula 1 is usually reserved for other VIP boxes, right? We can barely feel that so-called Le Mans spirit. There's the Ferris wheel. If we continue, you'll see the big concert stage over there. Another feature from Le Mans, right? And the other cool thing, you can already hear it, the fan zone gives you a really nice view of the track. Let's check it out. And the coolest part of the WEC for me is the variety of sounds, right? The V12 from Aston Martin, the V8 from Cadillac. Among the hypercars, we've got turbo V6s. Without looking at the track, just here, you can try to identify each car from each brand. That's a rarity in motorsport these days. While the on-track action is happening, let's rewind for an exclusive up-close tour of the Mustang GT3 that we had yesterday. Let's go. Le Mans is here. Yes, you've already seen it, right? We did a tour of the Ford racing garages at the 24 Hours of Le Mans. And I'll tell you, the presentation here doesn't fall short at all compared to the 6 hours of São Paulo. Now, there's a matter of the laws of physics, right? The Interlagos pit lane is definitely tighter to fit the entire WEC grid. So, let's compare how the setup looks of the Ford racing team here at our Interlagos temple. And here in Interlagos, we feel more at home. We just walk into the kitchen, right into the restroom without asking for permission. Look how cool this is. You can see the parts up close here. The door is entirely made of carbon fiber. The Mustang GT3 uses the same door handle as a street car due to regulations. But it weighs up to half a ton less than the street version too, thanks to all this weight reduction. The box. You know, the garage itself is luxurious, right? I've said there's even more space than in Le Mans. Let's see how the guy's office looks here. Remember, it's a weekend when we're expecting a lot of heat, right? Will people use the air conditioning? If by any chance you have the privilege of being here in this position over the weekend, here's my advice. When you start up the V8, don't stand right next to the door or you'll burn your shin. Check out the size of the brake disc. Basically, if you split it into 8, it's like a family-sized pizza. With the Mustang all opened up here, we can really admire the Coyote V8, right? And take a look at how the engine is mounted low and towards the back in the chassis, right? Really to help as much as possible with weight distribution. We're really talking about a race car. And let's take the opportunity to get a closer look at this machine here. The Mustang GT3 race car represents Ford in the GT3 category, with the same 5.0 V8 Coyote that you have in the Street Mustang Dark Horse, for example. And what's really cool is the base, the same engine that's gonna power the hypercar, right? The prototype, Ford's prototype that debuts in the main category next year. So go ahead and mark your calendar because you have plenty of reasons to come to the 6 hours of São Paulo in 2027. And the other point where the race car is very different from the street car is in the aerodynamics, right? The wing is basically big enough for you to have dinner on top of it. That's how big it is. Check out the rear diffuser here too. Maximize the airflow underneath, right? And to stick the rear of the car to the ground. So after all, the V8 really pushes hard here, going over 260 at the end of the straight in Interlagos. We've already gone behind the scenes with the team. We've already hit the track with Bantuk for its official pit boxes. So what's left for us now? Enjoy the rest of the day. Come with us and, next year, put it on your calendar. You can't miss the WEC. Bye-bye. Like and subscribe to the channel.